One of the things I've always genuinely admired about Prince William, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, is the way he has taken control of his own direction in life. It's something that often goes unnoticed, but it really sets him apart. He doesn't simply follow tradition or do what's expected of him. He carefully chooses how he presents himself and how he interacts with the world around him. And when it comes to the media, this becomes even more obvious. What many people don't fully realize is that William is incredibly selective. He decides who he speaks to, when he speaks, and most importantly, how his message is delivered. He doesn't just sit down for interviews because they are offered, he controls the entire situation. And that level of control is something we don't often see. If you are enjoying this video and want to see more updates and insights, don't forget to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on the latest news and discussions. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this story. A perfect example of this came not too long ago with his appearance on Apple TV alongside Eugene Levy. Now that interview stood out, didn't it? It didn't feel stiff or overly formal. It felt relaxed, natural, and well thought out. And that's because William made sure it was done on his terms. He chose the setting, the tone, the conversation, everything. And because of that, it was incredibly well received. People connected with it. It didn't feel forced, and that made all the difference. Of course, not everyone in the traditional media was pleased about this. Many outlets prefer when royals are more accessible and constantly providing content. But William has clearly decided that this isn't the route he wants to take. And when you look at his past, you can understand why. People often focus on the struggles faced by his late mother, Princess Diana, and rightly so. But William himself has had his own difficult experiences with the media. He has seen both the positive and negative sides of it, and that has shaped the way he handles things today. Now, if you compare that to his younger brother, Prince Harry, you start to see a clear difference. Many people believe that Harry hasn't fully learned how to manage that balance, how to use the media when it works in your favor and step back when it doesn't. William, on the other hand, seems to have figured that out. And that difference has played a significant role in where things stand today. What makes this situation even more interesting is that because William doesn't constantly share everything, we often hear different perspectives from other sources. And those perspectives can paint a very different picture of what's really going on. This is especially true when it comes to his relationship with Harry and, of course, Meghan Markle. Now Meghan has taken on many different roles over the years. From lifestyle branding to business ventures and more recent appearances in places like Australia, she has clearly been trying to build something of her own. But opinions on this are very mixed. Some people see it as a fresh start, a way to rebuild her image. Others see it as a step down from the position she once held. Because, let's be honest, there was a time when she had everything: global recognition, royal status, influence, and opportunity. And if you are someone working in Hollywood, you might look at that and wonder why it was all given up so quickly. Why not wait? Why not build something even bigger over time? But those decisions were made, and they have shaped everything that followed. When it comes to Meghan herself, opinions remain divided. Some view her as confident and ambitious, someone who knows exactly what she wants. Others are not so convinced and believe she may not have fully understood the role she was stepping into. Even Prince Harry, according to some observers, appears to have reflected on how things unfolded. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Because the tension between Prince William and Meghan Markle didn't begin with one major incident. It wasn't a single dramatic moment. Instead, it was a series of smaller things. Little moments. Small interactions. Subtle differences. And over time, those things began to build. Before we go further, let's take a quick moment. I hope you're doing well. The weather lately has been quite unpredictable, a bit of sunshine here and there, followed by sudden showers. And last night, that windstorm was something else. At one point, I found myself thinking, I really hope nothing gets damaged because fixing it wouldn't be cheap. Those are the kinds of thoughts that come to mind, aren't they? Of course, if you're living in large estates or places like Montecito, those worries probably don't exist in the same way. Now, back to the story. One of the key differences between William and Meghan comes down to personality. Meghan is known for being confident, expressive, and very open. By her own description, she's someone who is warm and affectionate, someone who connects with people easily. She greets others with hugs and brings a more relaxed energy into the room. But that kind of approach doesn't always fit in every environment. In royal settings, there is still a strong sense of tradition and formality. Personal space matters. And both Prince William and Catherine Middleton are known to value that. Catherine, in particular, is said to have made a real effort to welcome Meghan and build a connection. She tried to be supportive and understanding. But over time, it seems there were differences in communication that made things more difficult. There are also reports that Meghan often spoke about her experiences connected to Hollywood. While those stories may have been interesting at first, over time they may have felt repetitive, especially considering that she was never truly at the top level of that industry. Another important factor was Meghan's approach to royal life itself. Many people within the institution tried to guide her. They explained the traditions, the expectations, and the structure of the monarchy. But according to several reports, she wasn't particularly interested in learning those details step by step. Instead, she seemed to want immediate impact. And that led to some early tensions. One of those tensions reportedly involved Prince Philip. It's been said that he compared her to Wallis Simpson, a historical figure whose relationship with the monarchy caused significant controversy. That comparison carried a lot of weight, and it was not something Meghan appreciated. But the moment that truly changed things between Meghan and Prince William was surprisingly simple. It came down to a remark. According to sources, William referred to her as Harry's older girlfriend and mentioned that his brother was dating an older woman. Now, it's only fair to say that no one likes to be described in that way. Meghan saw herself as vibrant, modern, and full of life. At that stage, she was in the latter part of her 30s, and while some might view that differently, she clearly did not. So when she realized that William didn't see her in the same way she saw herself, it had an impact. And it stayed with her. From that point on, things began to shift. There was a noticeable change in attitude, a sense of determination, almost like she wanted to prove something. And you could see it in her actions, the appearances, the fashion choices, the way she presented herself publicly. But comparisons were always going to happen, because standing beside her was Catherine Middleton, elegant, composed, and naturally suited to royal life. Her style was understated, her presence calm, and her approach consistent. And that kind of quiet confidence resonated strongly with Prince William. Despite everything, it seems that Meghan never fully moved past this. Some even believe that this tension carried forward into later moments, including scenes shown in the Netflix documentary. When you step back and look at the full picture, it becomes clearer. This wasn't about one single event. It was about many small moments that built up over time. Small comments, small reactions, small misunderstandings, that slowly turned into something much bigger. And as always with stories like this, time has a way of revealing everything. Prince William has taken full control of how he deals with the media, choosing carefully who he speaks to and how his story is told. But behind the scenes, tensions with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle didn't come from one big moment. They built slowly over time. Small differences in personality, expectations, and one surprising comment about Meghan being an older girlfriend may have changed everything, shaping the strained relationship we see today.